Now, I know everybody wants to mention the fact that Shanks was able to go toe-to-toe with Kaido, and Whitebeard was able to best him. But can we take a moment to mention the fact that Gekko Moria was able to, at the very least, manage to stand up against the man? Yes, Gekko Moria lost his entire crew. Yes, he was officially scarred after that. But Gekko Moria stood before Kaido, this being, this creature that you see at the end of this chapter, and the man was able to live. That's honestly impressive. It's very freaking impressive, and that just blows me away. Out of everything that was kind of revealed within this chapter, that's the biggest thing, is the fact that Gekko Moria encountered this man. That says a lot. But okay, let's talk about this bombshell of a chapter, which is Kaido at the end. So, I think we can pretty much definitely clarify now. It's clarified that Kaido, at the very least, is probably a dragon. Now, what I mean by this is, I don't say he has like a dragon devil fruit. I'm saying dragon legit. He is a dragon that may have gotten a devil fruit that allows him to either turn into a human, like, a human Omi, or he has like an Oni devil fruit, which is a demon. One of those two most likely Kaido has. Now, there's a lot of things I want to talk about when it comes to Kaido, so don't worry. But the point is Kaido most likely, his original body is of a dragon, which would put in perspective and explain a lot of reasons to why he's called the 100 Beast Kaido, or the strongest creature, but on top of that, why he is immortal in the first place. So let's get into all of that. Dragons in Japanese and Chinese mythology, they always have been revered as strong, powerful creatures, a lot of times, or oftentimes, revered as gods. Something that is immortal, something that you can never be able to touch. Like in Chinese mythology, I think they have the 4 dragon kings. That's a big thing that's in mythology. And Japanese has its own fair share of, mythology as well. And since this, arc, Wano, is actually focusing on ancient Japanese lore and how Japan was in the past, like being an isolated country and all sorts of things, it makes sense why dragons technically would be introduced. Now, overall, when we look at the way this chapter was depicting Kaido, it was basically downright saying that Kaido is in fact a god. Like, everybody reveres him like a god. Which, if I saw a creature come down from the sky, like the sky changes, a storm cloud happens, and you see this man as a giant dragon just come down, and I'm like, Shinron, is that you? Yeah, I would probably call the man a god as well. I mean, out of everything we have seen already in One Piece, Kaido is probably the closest thing we have seen to what could be actually counted as a god. I know Inaru, many like to say he's a god as well, and technically if Kaido is also going down the route as, being a god, it's the second time Oda has done this, but it doesn't mean it's going to be the exact same thing. There is something about Chinese and Japanese mythology when it comes to dragons. Dragons are typically creatures that can transform. This is also something that, happens in World of Warcraft, which has some lore when it comes to dragons. You have dragons in stories and stuff, they're able to take the form of different shapes. For instance, turn into a humanoid-looking form. And there's a big possibility that maybe Kaido being able to transform into his human-looking self, which doesn't look entirely human. He looks more like a demon than anything else, which is why I said he might have a demon devil fruit. But there is a possibility that Kaido, he might not actually have a devil fruit. He might just have an extension of something that's similar to a devil fruit, and he's able to just transform at will, since he is a dragon, which we do know dragons in One Piece do in fact exist. Remember, they're a mythical species. They are legit real. It was talked about in Punk Hazard. We know that Dr. Vegapunk, he was the one that made those fake dragons and stuff, but we do know that dragons are legit. They are real freaking creatures. And this entire theme with, Kaido being a dragon, it makes sense now why dragons were introduced so early on in this saga of One Piece. Think about this. When, we finally got to Punk Hazard, technically the first major arc in the New World, if you're not counting Fishman Island, that's when we got some form of introductions of dragons and stuff. I mean, there was dragons already before that in filler episodes and stuff, but we never really got to legit see a dragon, and it was like the first real time we saw it, which really just showed how vast the One Piece world was. And I feel like Oda is very smart on that. The way he introduced dragons like that so early on was basically saying, yes, I know what Kaido's going to look like. I know Kaido is going to be a giant dragon in the end when he finally does get to the Wano arc. It's just a very smart planning from Oda, and I really actually respect that. Now, speaking of planning, since I'm on the topic, I didn't actually find this. Honestly, I didn't even remember it, but it was pointed out to me on social media. Look at this panel real quick. You remember back in Punk Hazard when Brook was, kicking the dragon, and then Kinemon was also kicking the dragon, and Brook, he had a lot of anger, and then he asked Kinemon, like, why are you so angry? Like, you're attacking this dragon that's on the ground as if, it harmed your parents or something. And Kinemon's like, yeah, pretty much something like that, which implies what Kaido was in the first place, because we know the reason why Kaido, or what happened to Kinemon is all thanks to Kaido, so that's a really nice foreshadowing by Oda. See, he's always known that Kaido was going to be a dragon in the grand scheme of things, which I respect. As, a writer, Oda being as a writer, I respect that. So, anyways, Kaido. Does he have a devil fruit ability, and how was the Marines able to capture this man? Now, when we look at Kaido's personality, we know that he is a man that doesn't care much about his life, obviously. He tries to end it constantly. It's like an every single day thing for him. He just wants to end it. He jumps off sky islands and all sorts of things like that. So the man, he's not all right in the head. But I feel like, if he actually had a devil fruit, he would have been long dead by now. And the reason why I say that is because even if he's a mythical dragon, okay? If he had a devil fruit, which in turn made him into like a demon or made him into a human, if he was to go underwater, he would drown. He would die. And since Kaido technically wants to die, you think he would have already done that to himself. So it's clear as day that he is not normal. So if we are going off the base, lore of dragons, he might not have a devil fruit. He might actually be the reason why devil fruits were even created in the first place. Now, hear me out. See, dragons are a species that exist in One Piece. And for all we know, maybe devil fruits, like when they first came about, because we do know that they can be created, what if devil fruits were designed off of, or at least the zone devil fruit types were designed off of the species of dragons that are in this universe of One Piece? That's a good possible theory. Think about it. Like, what if Kaido's species was based off of that? Now, if he has taken a devil fruit, like I said, it's most likely an Oni devil fruit. It would just make perfect sense, but at the same time, I'm just kind of curious, though. I mean, if he does have a devil fruit, why can't he just not drown and all that? Like, why can that not happen? Now, I can understand why he might not be able to die easy, because, I mean, if it's going by the typical lore as well of a dragon, his scales most likely are impervious to all damage. But this also brings into question, though, how the man, how he actually was able to get, kind of stalled by Shanks himself, which, that's the crazy part. As we know, Shanks isn't a devil fruit user. He is someone that is just a swordsman with one freaking arm, and he was able to hold back Kaido from getting to Marineford. That's ridiculous. And on top of that, Shanks wasn't injured. Now, I know many might bring up the memes and stuff, maybe Shanks and Kaido just sat down and started drinking or something. That's possible. It's One Piece at the end of the day. But, I don't know. I don't think it's that easy. Kaido just doesn't seem like that type of man. He doesn't seem like a type of man to just listen or anything like that. He just seems very hard-headed in a lot of ways, and he's definitely an old man. Definitely been around for a very long time, judging by his appearance. So, I mean, yeah, my personal perspective is Shanks right now, his power level, how strong he is, that's insane. And then Whitebeard being able to stop the man. And just to think about it, Whitebeard wasn't even in his prime. The man was dying. Whitebeard was legit dying in the Marineford arc already before he got into that fight. So, he was able to go toe-to-toe with Kaido and, even, bring him down to stop him. That speaks a lot. That speaks a lot about Whitebeard, speaks a lot about Big Mom, speaks a lot about Shanks. It's just oh my god. I mean, think about this, too. That what complicates the issue here for this arc for Luffy's entire crew. Big Mom's coming. Big Mom is coming to Wano, okay? And there's a possibility that Big Mom and Kaido will work together. They might fight, but there's a possibility they could work together to fight Luffy, which, that's a scary, scary look on things. Because just looking at Kaido alone, he has this presence, this aura of just being a monster. And Big Mom, we know she's a monster as well. She is a literal tank. We didn't get to see all of her feats. We know she was just mainly on a rampage wanting to eat cake. But we gotta imagine, though, if she's in the same ranks as someone like Kaido, oh my god. So yeah, this chapter was freaking incredible. And for a lot of reasons. Just Kaido is a big reason for that. I was blown away by the reveal of Kaido and just the sheer design, by the way. The design of Kaido. Yes, he looks like a traditional, a dragon, but still, just the way he freaking looks is awesome. Oda, you did a fantastic job. I mean, we're over 900 chapters into One Piece, and you still are surprising me with your quality plot twist left and right. Just good job, One Piece. But okay, let's talk about, Shutenmaru. I think that's how you say his name. So there is a character that popped up in this chapter, and it's very obvious by Kinemon's dialogue that the dude, the samurai, was probably the one that Kinemon is trying to look for. And I'm kind of curious on why he is attacking the villagers, because if he really is a samurai, that obviously was a retainer underneath Oden, you think he would actually be a little bit of a better dude. But we also got to factor in that, remember what Oden did. Remember what was stated a couple of chapters back about Oden. Remember, Oden went into a lawless area and got all of the bandits and all the bad people under his wing and made it into a really good paradise. So for all we know, maybe the reason why Shutenmaru acts like he does, it's because he was actually at one point a true bandit before, Oden took him under his wing. And then that he just went back to his old ways when Oden was gone. So that's what I think is going on here, why Shutenmaru is acting like that, because it just makes perfect sense, but also his design with the silhouette that was shown when Kinemon was talking, it's very identical. But the power, though, of Shutenmaru is questionable. Because he legit did some damage to Jack, and it's really not making Jack look relatively strong. I just want to be honest here, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong. Jack is a crazy man. He is a really durable man as well. In a lot of ways, I put into question maybe if he's more durable than Big Mom herself. I really don't know, but he is a durable man. He could take a lot of damage. I mean, he took a hit from Zoe itself. He took from an elephant, a giant elephant. But I guess that might be a typical Friday for, Jack, because, I mean, if he's under the rule of Kaido, which is a large dragon, maybe getting hit by large creatures is just common for him. But jokes aside, Jack, yes, he's durable, yes, he can take a lot of damage from what we've seen, but he really isn't that good of a fighter from what I've seen so far. He does play dirty. I mean, he had to use the gas to be able to win in Zoe. But Shutenmaru, yes, I know he's a samurai. We have been told samurais are very strong. It's been a build-up for a very long time. Kinemon is also a samurai. And if this is a retainer that also technically was once underneath Oden and Kinemon was in the same ranks as him, then Kinemon should technically be around the same power level, I would assume, as Shutenmaru. So my point here is that Jack right now, the more and more I look at it, it doesn't look like he's really that crazy strong. It just seems like the reason why his bounty's so high and why he's just so intimidating is because it's a bloated bounty because of just how much damage he did picking on the weak and stuff. That's what I'm assuming. But yeah, that was definitely something I noticed with this chapter. Another thing is to talk about the stunning reveal with Suru. I think that's her name. Suru was revealed to be Kinemon's wife. Huh. That's mind-blowing. Okay, I mean, I like that little tidbit of information. I didn't expect to get that from Oda, but I'm glad that, that was officially revealed that Kinemon does have a wife, and that's going to be an awkward conversation, talking with his wife. It's like, hey, hun, I know you thought I was probably dead for 20 years, but I'm back and all that. It's kind of says a lot. It doesn't look like she really has moved on either. She's still by herself, kind of like a widow, so she hasn't probably given up her love for Kinemon, which is very sweet, by the way. So, let's talk about the outfit designs of all our characters. Like, everybody's new outfits and stuff. I really, really have to mention that Nami's design is quality. Like, please, 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 please let there be a Nami figurine like that. Oh my god. I want a Nami figure that looks like that. That was a quality figure. But anyways, Nami actually thought her outfit was too revealing, which I was like, Nami, like, you, of all characters, saying, oh, that's too revealing? I'm like, okay, that's definitely, I guess we get something new every day when it comes to One Piece, but Yeah, Nami actually covered up a little bit, which, okay. Now, I do love Brook's design, by the way. I love the way he looks like just like this dead, like, ghost. It's really cool. It fits Brook's design since he's technically a walking skeleton, and he's obviously one of my favorite characters, so I'm a little bit biased towards his design, but I'm glad that Brook has a pretty unique design. And then just seeing, Sanji's design and all them, I mean, there's a lot of great designs here. But Nami's and Brook's personally stand out the most to me. But that's pretty much about it when it comes to this chapter. It's a great chapter, a lot of reveals. I mean, Kaido is a ridiculous man. I really don't know how Luffy is going to bring this man down, even with a bunch of help. I mean, bringing down literally an immortal legendary dragon is not an easy feat by any means. This is definitely not a normal fight. And then you throw in Big Mom and then Weevil potentially showing up. That's a whole separate issue. But anyways, I want to end it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.